call Austin, put some snaps.
Yo, this is Nerd from Chicago, Uptown, X-Men. Yo, check out the Wendy 101 on YouTube. Chill.
We're recording. Welcome to Wendy 101. Today is the first fucking day of your future and our future, and this is get used to us.
So remember that shit, cause we sure the fuck won't. This is Mexico.
That's Tamper.
Yo, this is Wendy 101. Woo! Yo, we got the homie in the house tonight that's been getting down for way too longer than tonight.
Way longer.
Way longer than tonight.
Way longer.
So without further ado, man, it's the big homie Nerd, man. What's good?
up, everybody?
How you feeling, man?
Clap it up for my man.
Woo! You good, sir? How you been? You been healthy, man?
Thank you for coming,
I'm
man.
sick of losing legends, man. You gotta stick around for at least 40 years.
Man. I'm doing
40 more.
fantastic, yeah.
Word up, man.
Yeah.
What you got yourself into these days?
You know, just working a lot with youth still, working with the homeless, you know.
Dope.
Practicing my craft, you know, taking it a little bit more serious, you know. Stepping up a couple products, you know, t-shirts and pins and all that, whatever, you know, getting my little nerd packs, my nerd
The nerd packs.
Nerd starter kit, you know,
Yeah.
stickers and my nerdy glasses. You know, just doing what I've been doing for the last 30-something years.
Nice.
That's awesome. I love the glasses, by the way.
The glasses are perfect. You've got like 2 different versions. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Or you got more than 2, but like there's 2 different medium. You can put them on something already, or you can just put them up somewhere with the whole background. And it's kind of
you know, nerds unite.
Yeah, nerds unite,
I'm
man.
tired of getting bullied around here.
Yo, man, it's gotta
Keep my
stop
glasses
somewhere.
on 24/7.
Enough is enough. Word up.
Definitely awesome. So, where did nerd, the name, the man, the legend, where did it all start?
Well, you know, of course, y'all know that, you know, I come from Uptown.
Uptown, baby.
Uptown. You know, Uptown in the 70s and 80s was a little different. You know, the 90s was rough too, really fucked up. But, you know, we fought all the time, you know, as kids, every day in school, every day after school, during class. But when I made it to like the 6th grade, I was already doing graffiti. And we were in class, and this kid called me a nerd and pick on me all the time. So he finally just got to me, he called me a nerd, and I got up and just knocked his ass out, flipped over the desk on him.
Damn,
started throwing
flipped
books
over the desk too?
You know, start throwing books at everybody else, like, fuck you too.
Yo, you went cold
Ninja Stars and shit, you know.
Ninja Stars.
You know, 80s movies, man.
Dramatic
Real hard,
lights.
man. Chuck Norris on that.
Motherfuckers fell in slow motion.
So, you know, so I got suspended, and then when I came back, you know, everybody was whispering like, yo, that's that dude they call nerd and nerd. And then, you know, it just stuck with me, and all my friends just thought it was funny, and they always called me nerd. And it always stuck with me, and I always tagged it, and I always tried to get away from it, changed my name over the years. But then I embraced the nerdness, you know, and just kept it going, you know.
That's just classic.
Okay.
It's a dope ass name.
That's how it sticks,
It's
man.
catchy.
It's catchy because it's like, I don't know, my whole life of knowing you, it's somewhere back there. My whole life of knowing you've been like the opposite of a damn nerd. Like, it's like, who's throwing this barbecue? Oh, nerd. Where's nerd? By the grill. Oh shit, let me peel through the crowd, find nerd. Everyone's around trying to like hear stories or bounce stories off you while you're making something real dope off the grill. A drink, somehow your skinny ass is like no shirt on, like fuck it, we out here. So I mean, that's the opposite of a nerd. So you kind of, you're groundbreaking because you're doing the opposite of a nerd as a nerd.
The reason nerd fit me a lot too was I hung out with hip hoppers, break dancers, gang banging, people selling weed, selling drugs. You know, I hung out with everything. But on top of that, I had friends that was into like the anime club, animation. You know, this is in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s, and I had friends that just draw all day. And you know, not just graffiti writers. You know, some of my best friends growing up are like from Cambodia and Laos and
especially in Uptown.
You know, in Uptown we had a huge influx of people from all over the world, from war-torn countries and escaping all that and coming to, you know, our little melting pot. So,
Uptown is known for its got 2 things going on. It's actually a diaspora of people from the Appalachian Mountains.
yeah.
And it's also a diaspora for mostly Vietnamese people trying to get away from bullshit and pretty much build their own land there. So I mean, to like be anything but that around that time is remarkable.
Yeah, my people from like down south, from like
Weird
West
accent.
Virginia, they all
I'm
came
getting to school right
uptown.
now. I did not know that shit.
Yeah, West Virginia friends, like
Yeah,
all day. They all had an accent like
they
a
came
motherfucker.
down and they got books written about it. You know?
Yeah,
It was a flux. So uptown was also called Hillbilly Heaven.
yeah,
When I was a kid, so it was mad hillbillies around that mug.
yeah. It was for good reason. That's dope. So I mean, so being the man and all and shit and stuff and things and stuff, because you actually told me about being able to do characters and letters, because you never know your product and who you finna be getting your money from. But what do you like to hit up most? You know, like concrete, metal, titties.
Titties, ass.
Like I was saying, you know, I've done it all, and you know.
No shit.
What's fun at the time is what I like to do. Like, I think about this every day too, because I'm like, man, am I going to jump back on the street and start doing throw-ups and busting tags again, like the 90s again? That might have been the funnest era ever.
Right.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to my ultimate fun was hitting sides. I grew up hitting sides, that's what we did.
Yeah.
And like, a lot of people don't even know the term, you know?
Yeah.
But
Let's
that's
let the people know what
but
side.
that's just, you know, when you're at a train platform, you're on a rooftop, you know. So, you know, my favorite was growing up hitting sides. And what made sides fun, it was always about battling too. So I grew up on the north side, and we was always battling people on the south side. So when the trains came on from the south side up north, we would see their names, and we crossed out a bunch of them, and you write our names.
We just crossed out a bunch of them.
You know, and at the first time I started hitting, sides were everywhere, and you had to run from train to train and try to find you a spot to blend in there. That was probably some of the funnest times, and before they started bringing in the buff and getting rid of, you know, painting on trags, you know.
So with sides, you're just doing tags?
Just basically tags, throw-ups if it was real quick, you know, but we had a station that when I started coming up, hanging out with my boy Trock, TJP, my boy.
Trock!
Took me out to the south side, and they had a station. I don't even know if y'all have even heard of this station. It was called University. And it was the end of the line off of the Howard line on the south side. And the train would come in, and it would pull up, and it would stop there for like 5 minutes. And we'd be downstairs drinking 40s and kicking and smoking and shit. And then we'd run up there, and we could actually do pieces on trains. You know, one piece at a time for each train that came. We do like 5 to 10 pieces a day on trains.
Snapping.
So that was good times too.
With like stock too.
Man, you know, stock tips, fat caps. You know,
I mean,
tester caps.
What was a fat cap back then? It's a tester cap?
Tester cap was the cleanest cap,
Yep.
and fat caps was like the WD-40 cap without the straw in it.
Jesus.
But some people kept the straw. But one thing I like to bring about them times like that's real early, when we used to fade paint, we used to take 2 cans and aim them together, they would stream and hit each other. That's how we used to fade them.
Oh, gems!
Whoa. That's pre-fade.
Sonic rings and shit.
That's pre-fade.
Where the ashtray? I'm about to ash in my hand. Jeez. Pre-fade. You see that?
Pre-fading.
You make our own ashtray.
You're nasty. Go on.
One of my first crew hitting sides was Bots Crew, BOTS. It stood for Back on the Scene. And all them brothers ever did in their whole career was hit sides and bomb, you know, streets and shit.
Hey man,
but
you
that was the thing. Sides was big, you know. And if you wasn't on the red line, you wasn't shit either. You know, if you know, people that did Ravenswood line, and if you wasn't on the Howard, I'm gonna say, you know, it wasn't a big deal.
I always heard that shit. If you ain't on the red line, you ain't shit.
Then my next best thing was just basically burners on the side of rooftops on the side of the line, you know, track
Yeah,
side
man.
shit.
You were heavy. Like everything off of the Howard line too. Some of y'all might know or might not know, but I'm gonna act like you don't know. When you're saying the Howard line, it's basically the north side of the what we call the red line now. You said it stopped at University, right?
University.
That's
on the
crazy.
south side.
Because now that's like, it is totally far from that shit now. We had to fight to even get it to go that far now. But I mean, cats from down there would say the 95th. So it's the same thing, just now they put colors on it because we're racist human fucking beings. Anywho.
Yeah, and other things was cool was knowing how to hit sides from different stations. You know, like, and then on the red line, you'd be like, if it looks hot over here, I'm gonna travel a little further and go hit sides on Sheridan, or I'm gonna go back to Thorndale, and just knowing the cuts and how to get up there and climb the rooftops and what's what, you know. Also, we hit sides in the tunnels,
Right.
and that kept you in shape. So we do North to Clybourne, and you wait for a train to come, and when the train came, you ran with it on the side, and then when it stopped, you start bombing it. Then when it starts up, you start running with it again, and then wrap yourself around and do it side to side.
That's
So
crazy.
back in the day, how easy was it to be able to do that? Like nowadays, I mean, nowadays there's all these cameras.
You know,
There's somebody watching, somebody.
There's
snitching.
cameras and fences, man. It's like running hurdles.
You know, it's a trip. It's a trip to think about, and I couldn't really say it's easier, because for one thing, it was real gangbangers then. It was easier to get your ass
That's true,
than
man.
everywhere else.
That's
Real
true.
gangbangers in.
I didn't see it. There's not a lot of people out, even people out on the street, really. And there's not a lot of people out on the street paying attention to graffiti. They're looking at their phones and shit and playing video games or whatever, playing Pokemon and shit. So, you know, I can't really compare. It's different times, but, you know, there was people inventing it as we're going on, too.
Right.
We didn't know we could go up there. We didn't know we could run into tunnels and, are we going to get hit by this train? Are we going to jump inside this room in enough time? Do we got a minute to get to room to room to room? We pop out this fucking tunnel right past North and Clybourne. You pop out, you right in front of Cabrini Green with 50 motherfuckers at you, and they're like, look at these Puerto Rican Ninja Turtles and shit. And that's what they called us. I'm like, okay. So bam, we back on the track. We used to walk the tracks just so we didn't get jumped. We jumping tracks, running home like that, because that's a safe route. You know what I'm saying? Graffiti was a safe route too.
Yeah.
You know.
So you never got gang affiliated with your graffiti?
Nah, I mean, I had a lot of gangs.
Stories, but
a lot of gangs mad at me for doing graffiti. And, you know, like, when I first started, like, going over some ancient gang graffiti, not really thinking about it, you know, but they understood the hip-hop scene, too, and understood that I wasn't gangbanging and knew that I was dope at art, and I did a lot of airbrushing. So I airbrushed a lot of gangbang graffiti growing up.
you got mad RIP shirts, don't you?
I mean, not really. When the RIP scene came and putting the faces on it, I was already done airbrushing.
So I guess on the light side, you got mad
like,
jackets
I
and
was
pants.
more like doing outfits and like their whole things, you know, like old school gang style, you know, like really.
They're like, I need a dragon with red eyes.
Shit, you know,
you need to be looking to the left.
Yeah.
That's dope.
But to be honest with you, like gangbanging to me, like is some of the best, coldest graffiti I enjoyed and that I learned from as a kid. You know, when I was just talking about this earlier, which is these gangbangers had this like like to me, I would call it a burner. You know what I'm saying? In our words,
It was just a big old face.
Characters,
Yeah.
They had a background and shit. And they had all this thing and you know what do you call them? Roman numerals.
Right. Things are happening.
What inspired you? What inspired your style? Like, or is that just drugs or alcohol or,
What inspired me
bitches?
to what? Stop?
Yeah, no, your style.
Style?
Style. That's what inspired your style.
No, I mean I'm inspired by a lot of traditional graffiti that I try to add to everything, but also throughout the whole. Every year I try to kick off a new style and try to invent something that ain't been done or something I haven't tried, and I try to combine those styles. And like right now, I feel like I got so much shit going on and it's so like easy to do something simple that now I try to do 5 pieces in one at every time, at least 5. So it's like 5 styles in one. And I just call it like
That explains a whole lot.
Yeah.
I be looking at your name, it's like there's 5 different styles in there, or there's 4 different styles.
Layers of different styles. And each style sometimes represents a time period to me. Like some of them shits is 70s, some 80, some 90, you know, and then beyond to the, you know, future styles and shit that. And you know, I be dreaming up styles, so, and they're always futuristic to me. And I always wake up like, who the fuck did that? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll dream that shit.
Ah.
You know. And I don't draw them, I just keep them in my memory banks and keep just a little piece of a style. And I remember that and I build off of that.
Filed it away.
Yeah.
So, how many crews have you been in your long career?
So I haven't been in a lot of crews and I'm not big on throwing up a bunch of crews. And and I'm barely big on throwing up the crew that I'm in. I always forget about it, you know, but I represent it and I love everybody. It's just something that, you know, more about when I'm bombing. I like, bombing period was more throwing up crews and stuff. But over the years, you know, I started off in Bot's crew, and that was just basically an uptown crew, started by Heckle, and that was back on the scene.
What year was that?
And that was 1987, 1988, and that was all mainly train bombers and people that did sides and outsides, maybe some rototops with those guys. But then I joined a crew called Wet Crew, and stood for We Eliminate Toys, and it was like a crew that just kind of like took over, man, and just got a lot of people was hating on them because they were like really good group of kids that had a lot of piecing skills at a really young age and busted out these kind of new styles. There's a guy on there named Soul, that DJ Soul, he's a DJ now, but a cat just had mad skills, and they were kind of taught by one of my good friends named Self. And they were all skateboarders, and I came across them, and I was like their 7th member, and I joined their crew, and we had some battles. We battled a crew called AOK, and we battled CMW back in the day, and you know it was more of a piecing crew, but they really liked to destroy the Ravenswood line, and which was fun. But you know that was a younger crew, and then I started my own crew, Poor Crew, which was my high school crew, which stands for Prophets of Rage. And that was mainly like people that wasn't even writers, more like people that were hip hoppers that DJ'd with me and threw parties with me and just wrote because I was writing and wanted to write something.
Yeah, there was mad cats putting up nerd. I'm like, you're not nerd, stop! Yeah. Oh, I get it.
Yeah, so
I remember POR, a bunch of my homies, Spezum, he was POR back in the day.
Yep, Spezum, cool cat, yep.
I think Depot might have been.
He got down, yeah, Depot was down back when. Those were all later in life when I started teaching. And they came and brought it back. And, you know, some of the, like my boy Blockhead, you know, they all come from the same era of that. You know, original Poor Crew was 1990 and then 1991. And then, you know, from there, you know, I had, you know, I could go out and name all the members, all great members. One of my main partners was my boy Ewok. He was super cold, and we did a lot of partners painting together and shit. But from there, me and Ewok, we joined SB, the Spray Brigade, with Raven and Zor, and those cats taught me a lot about burning and going big, and you know, rollers and background. And actually, they schooled me a lot on teaching kids and getting them paint for free and hustling art and stuff.
Did you have a lesson on doing whole cars by yourself, like a la Zor?
You know what? I was actually into painting trains way before I met them. But they had a technique and
that's what I'm saying.
a style.
That way. Yeah.
They had a technique and a style of the way they painted whole cars and like rolling out trains. It taught me a lot about using the roller a lot more than using the can, which was different than I did. Well, when I got into painting more trains, that's when I got into the style of leaving the outline go. I let the outlines go like the sketch. I wouldn't go up there and sketch out letters. I just go up there and paint it. You know what I'm saying? And then I did an outline on top of that. So it saved a can of paint and it saved time.
Dope.
And you know, it developed a whole new kind of style to it.
Fresh.
What do you feel is more important? What, like, as far as advice, like, what do you advise? Like, would you give up and coming cats advice, like, to work on, like, either tags, outlines, you know?
The advice I got.
Your doodads.
For the young graffiti artists out there, basically to me, and this might not be the right thing to tell everybody, but I'm big on originality. I'm big on not biting, you know what I'm saying? I don't like people biting people's styles and people coming out of nowhere doing shit, you know, we've seen for years already, and being great at it, you know, coming up in my era, there's only like one book out, you know, or two books out, you know, and it wasn't, you know, all this stuff you could just look up an E and learn how to do it on a computer now, in which that's cool too, but develop your own style, man, and learn that, and then bring it into your own shit, and and it's all really based off your life and your experiences, man. Get out there and have fun with your life and kick it, you know.
Versus the art school writer.
Yeah, get out there and live, man, and you know, kick it, man. I'm not saying you gotta get out there and drink and do drugs and, you know, and do shrooms and be like me, but you know.
But you can.
I mean, it'd be fun.
Things might happen. You might blow your mind.
Get out there and dance.
I'm not saying you can or should, but you can or should.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, it was dope because everybody had their own style. Like, Wise had individuals had their own style. Wise, Pose, Cypher. Everybody had something different. Nowadays, everybody's trying to follow that trend of keeping it simple and adding just color and making it really clean, but it's simple.
Yeah.
And everybody's keeping into that. Okay, we could just do one simple thing, just keep doing that, just 50 many colors.
And the same thing over and over.
Instead of trying and
instead of
reaching
trying to
out.
like flex your style, yeah.
And then the difference in my era, you couldn't do the same thing over. If you did the same thing you did last time, you get laughed at. You know, they crack on you. Like, man, that look just like your last shit.
You did the last thing.
Even my own brothers and my family, they'd be like, man, you do the same thing. And I'd be like, what? No way. You know? It was embarrassing to try to do the same thing you just did.
Right.
And sometimes you got in that writer's block. You did do the same shit over, or you had the same color paint.
There's that, but I mean, there's cats who literally go and do the same thing they did last time right now.
No, that's what they do on purpose.
Right.
Yeah, that's only on purpose. It's a patent style.
Yeah.
It's trained. Let me talk about Cap and Hack a little bit. You know, both of them, you know, lived in Uptown at different times with me too. But with me and Cap, I knew Cap since '88, and we had math together. We had math class together, and he was already like a legend to me at the time. Before, you know, I wasn't nothing at all. Even just like barely. I was doing graffiti, but he was probably doing it, and already had been known, and everybody knew him.
Yo, he made graffiti look like a business.
You know,
like, to be honest.
Yeah. But later in life, you know, I lived down Magnolia, and he lived the block behind me, and we both were selling weed.
Yeah.
And I come out to my alley, and he had the opposite alley of me, so we were in the same alley, and we see each other. We both just be selling weed all day and sit back and talking. And then we got a wall back there, and we painted it together. It's actually still up today too.
Yeah.
So later in life, in like the late '90s, me and Kev was both living in Uptown, and he lived on one block and I lived the opposite block, and we shared an alley. So I would come out, I'd be selling weed, meeting people in the alley, and I look over and he doing the same exact shit, you know. Then we just come and talk shit, and then, you know.
Mutual barbecues.
I don't even know, you know, to tell you the truth, I don't think I was X-Men at the time, but you know, he was. And we were just hanging out, just talking and blah, 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 and he always wanted me to get down with the X. And then we finally got a wall in that alley when we did a piece that said, it was a dedication to UAC. And it said Uptown Alley Cats, UAC. And it was me, Cap, and Ewok, and it's still up in the alley today.
It's still up.
Yeah.
When I lived like a block
Yeah,
over
rest in
from it, I was
peace.
like, that's us.
Yeah.
Before me, but that's us.
Yeah, true. And then Heck, man, I got so many stories about Heck, but I mean, I just gotta say, you know, Heck was like the godfather of graffiti, basically, to me and most of my friends. And always like the guy, like when you came and seen him, he was just like a big hug and just grab you and suffocate you, you know. Happy to see you and happy to show that love. And you know, taught me a lot of basic shit about graffiti, but I actually grew up hanging out with his nephew, Money, and his brother E-Drop. And E-Drop is the man that made all the beats for like Mad File when they was all rapping and stuff like that. And we used to skateboard, and I used to actually go over there, stay the night, and I see Heck and all his homies, like Prove and a couple other writers doing graffiti, but I was like 12 or 13, you know, trying to do graffiti, and they wouldn't even try to hang with me back then, you know. Like, get out of here, shorty, you know.
I remember Heckle, man. The first time I ever met him, I was with Paz. We rolled up to Crawford. Paz Lyrics, for people that know, 7 Odds. We rolled up. We were working. We were plumbing. We was just.
We were plumbing.
We was plumbing. Sorry, it's alcohol. Yeah. But yeah, we rolled up to Crawford. We hopped out. We were just looking around. First person just to walk up, greet us with open arms, and you know, just like, hey, what's up, man? You know, welcome. What's up? My name's Heckel. Shit, what do you write? And he was really humble and cool as hell. Laid back. Just cool. I mean,
I think some of the best shit I had with Heck though was like real life shit other than graffiti. Like, you know, me and Heck, he didn't get to travel a lot. He didn't travel a lot. And, you know, one time me, Paige, and Heck, we all traveled out to Miami. You know, took him out there. We all throughout like Florida and different on trips. You know, just to see him in other atmospheres. You know, out of his element. Man, just, you know, just embracing people and getting to know people, and, you know, never shy to talk. You know, he had a great gift of gab, and, you know, just his like friendliness just shined. Like, he wasn't a threat, even though the guy was like 6'5".
Yeah, he was a giant.
You know what I'm saying?
You get a hug from here, you can't hear anything around you no more.
Yeah.
Like,
I was intimidated. I was like, hey. He's like, what's up, man?
it was like a sleep deprivation tank when I got a hug from him. I was like, I'm just sitting here.
So the first day I met Heck, and he could have easily just whooped my ass, but I crept up on him. I thought he was somebody else that I had a little bit of beef with. I think I was like 13 or 14, and they said he was in a game room, and I had a 40 ounce, and I was busted on his head, and I crept up on him, and he turned around, and I noticed it wasn't the guy, and he looked at me like, what the fuck is you doing? And I was like, man, I thought you was this dude, that blah, 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 and he knew the dude I was talking about, and he knew the guy I was with.
40 ounce when he was 14.
You know, he knew the guy I was with, they were cool, and then that was the first time I met him. We was cool ever since, and then
That's dope.
actually later, like, they ended up catching up with the guy that I was looking for me and shit. You know?
Hey, he over here.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm glad I hit him with that 40 ounce. That would have probably fucked up my whole graffiti career, I'm sure.
I feel like he would have still been kind of nice about it though. He would have been like cool with the fact that you were about what you were about
badass,
to do.
though. I was a little punk back then.
He was like, you know what? I'm glad you did it because you got it out, and that's what you about. But I'm about to fuck you up.
Glad I didn't get him. He wouldn't have caught me that day, though.
Damn.
I'd have been on my feet.
But that was the old school days, man. People used to box.
Yeah, that was at
throw hands.
That was at the game room on Wilson. You know, Wilson right underneath the train station. And shit, you know.
And that, I can't front. I always thought it was like a miniature version of Clark Mall.
Oh, that's later. Like,
yeah.
Right there, yeah.
It just felt like that.
Oh, it
like
was. That,
walking through there.
Yeah,
I was like, man, I need a weapon walking through the yards.
Wilson Broadway Mall. That's the Wilson Broadway Mall.
Yeah.
We had a shop in there, 1995, called Uptown Beatdown.
Yep.
And it was me, my partner Demon, and Ewok, and Dins, and Yave with an airbrush artist in there. That's what we did a lot of airbrushing that year. A lot of free GGO's pizza.
I just remember a lot of blue walls.
Yeah.
Like baby blue walls. I'm like, no matter who moves into this space, it's still baby blue walls.
Then they came with All City Records just in there. It was pretty cool too. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's the Wayback Machine over here.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man. Before we knock everyone out and be all boring, you got anything else that we should know about? Where can we find what you do? Tell us something that's gem dropping that'll make people fall out and replay it.
Sorry.
When Pimp Daddy over here gets...
Yeah, he's all good.
Baby mama. Yeah.
He's got baby mama drama on the show and shit. Yo, we're running a show here, man. I'm just kidding. But no, like, tell us where you be at, where we can find more of what you do, because you're dope and we need to share it.
Well, this year I'm working on getting a lot of WAF to host events myself. And we're trying to put together some sort of kind of like graffiti Olympics that's not just taking like a graffiti styles and saying, oh, this guy's the best artist, which is so hard to judge. It's more about hopping gates, time-wise, you know, running tracks, stuff like that. We're trying to make it more like active.
Yo,
and
so I can't be in it.
Are you gonna make like, yo, tell me you're gonna construct like tracks and like I need courses.
I mean, that's what I want. I mean, we want to dream big,
Dude, I will compete.
trains involved.
I will compete the fuck out of that shit.
We want barbed wire fences, you know. We want freight trains.
Can I be your like Bob Mazzucchelem? Like, yo, first you gotta make sure you have the right amount of currency to get on the train stop. There's gonna be a layup on the left of you, about 20 yards south. You should hit that in good time because you know the train comes in 15-minute increments, but it's Thursday, so it switches up because Bobby's got it. You gotta make sure you hit that. Jump down the tunnel. I'm like, Foom.
We A&B station, man. I mean, you dream as big as me. You know what I'm saying? You know,
I will definitely be like a voice on there.
I don't know if you heard, but you know they're trying to bring breakdancing into the Olympics.
Oh yeah, I know.
So hip hop.
I've been signing mad petitions. We here.
Loving it.
We got politicians in hip hop now. We got hip hop like practitioners who run basketball teams. People like we do stuff, man.
Yeah.
We got lawyers.
Yeah. We got it all now. Come on.
We got this.
So I'm working on that. You know, I'm working on my website. You know, do some pins, some T-shirts, some hats, putting out the nerd logo, just the nerdy glasses. You know, I'm trying to end bullying. You know, stuff like that. You know.
Dope.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. Tell the people where can they find you? What social media?
You can find me on Instagram at Graffiti Nerd. That's the best way to get up with me right now. I'm trying to travel around. You know, I'm still doing murals. I'm still like a gun for hire. You know.
Pat 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 pat. Okay.
So you guys know if you guys need any murals, you guys need any artwork, any kind of projects, hit up Nerd. You guys know what's up. We're gonna put all the links and descriptions and all that good stuff. Like us, share us, add him. You already know what it is. Windy 101. I'm sorry, Windy City. I'm sorry.
Woo! Yo, this is Al Tamper. This is my boy Mexico. We are chilling with the motherfucking Nerd.
That's right.
Poor Crew. X-Men.
Come on.
I got you. I was going into secession.
I'm pumping him up. I'm like, give me that. Come on. Bring it.
Yo.
Windy 101.
We out.
Peace.
Yo, this is Al Tamper.
I'm Mexico.
Yo, this is Windy 101. Click all these links around the fucking squares and shit.
Hit the bell.
And hit the bell. Just hit the bell wherever it is.
See.
Tell your moms. It might be cool for you.
Please.
Killing your feelings with skillings, drilling the millions. Idiots really missing it, son and them and they minions. These silly kiddies plead the fittest with that lip they flapping. Trust we checking shits because Telly said slap the shit out of them. Up in your crib like it's been ours, I put my feet up. Right after your party where your crew just watch you get stuck up. That shit was only practice, we still call that up and coming. All we do is show up, motherfuckers start running. All we do is